Welcome to week 1 of our new series, Coach. When you think of a coach, your mind probably automatically goes to sports. You think of John Harbaugh, Bill Belichick, Pat Summitt, or Vince Lombardi. Maybe you're an athlete and automatically you can hear your coach's voice in your head yelling from the sidelines. A coach's job on the field or in practice is to push us, to train and teach and guide. We need them to do that for us if we want to grow and succeed as an athlete. We train to accomplish goals. We practice, push ourselves, commit, and work hard. And for you, that might not be a sport. It may be art or music, school. We all have things we work towards, and we all need coaches to help us in that pursuit. The definition of a coach is to give instruction or advice. Pretty simple. Now, as much as we associate a coach with a game, it actually is a lot more than that. We receive instruction and advice in almost every area of our lives.
When someone says the word coach, our mind often goes to the idea of a sports coach, but there are many other types, like spiritual, mental, and academic coaches. While all of these coaches are extremely important people in our lives, sports coaches have had the greatest impact on me personally. I am an athlete and have been for most of my life. It is a huge part of who I am, but I did not get here alone. Like many of you, I have a support system around me consisting of friends, families, and coaches. My sports coaches throughout the years have been some of the most influential people in my life. A coach to me is someone who encourages us to step out of our box, to try new things, and to take risks. This may sound crazy, but a coach to me is someone who pushes me to the brink of failure and then picks me up and confidently helps me keep going. We cannot grow if we are not uncomfortable. When I was in 5th grade, I had a lacrosse coach who checked the boxes of an ideal coach. She was fun, loving, supportive, but most importantly, she pushed me to expand my horizons and become comfortable with being uncomfortable. As an athlete, it can be easy to get in our own heads and quit before we have even started. But this coach taught me that every time we quit is one opportunity lost to get better. You might not think of God as being a coach to you, and that is okay. God is our leader and He guides our choices and decisions, but we can take other coaches we have encountered and the lessons they have taught us and apply them to our relationship with God.
My coach may or may not be a little different than all of yours. Mine's not a soccer coach or a teacher. To be honest, mine's my therapist. He has played a huge role in my life. When I was younger, my parents made the decision to start taking me with a therapist. You see, I was not the best kid. Most of the time, I would get in trouble in school and argue with my parents. We had a tough time seeing eye to eye. It was hard for my parents. I would blame them for the mistakes that I made. Keep in mind, these were the two people that believed in me the most. They wanted to coach me, but I didn't open myself up to being coached. They believed there was more in me than I was putting out. It was also hard for my older sister and younger brother. I believed that my role as a brother is to be a role model and someone that my siblings can go to. I felt like my brother and sister were afraid of me. My sister never wanted to come to talk to me, and my younger brother didn't want to look up to me. My therapist motivated me to dig deep, to want to be someone people would look up to. He motivated me to want to be a coach, just as he had coached me. It was not an easy journey though. In 2nd grade, there were 2 weeks that changed my life forever. Monday through Friday, my friends were all at school, having fun and learning with each other. But I wasn't. I was at Shepherd Pratt. For those who may not know, Shepherd Pratt is a mental health hospital. Now, before I talk about that, let's go back to my siblings for a second. My older sister, the one who I'm supposed to make jokes with and laugh with, went to school and had to pick up my work because I was unable to go for 2 weeks. My younger brother, the one who was supposed to be looking up to me, instead was saying goodbye to me every morning as I was on my way to get taught how to deal with issues instead of facing them. Now, I'm not going to say that right after Shepherd Pratt I was the perfect child. There was still a lot of work to be done. I met with my therapist once a week and talked about what I could learn from the previous week. When I was going into 7th grade, we moved. In my head, I thought of something. I could either make the move a positive thing for me or a negative thing. I already dug myself in a deep hole, so I decided to move would be a fresh start. It was my job to take advantage of it, and sure enough, I did. It's been over 8 years since my journey to Shepherd Pratt. I wouldn't be the person I am now without the coaches that have guided me mentally, spiritually, and even emotionally. Today, I'm not only open to being coached, but I have coached others. Each week, I have the opportunity to lead a group of 8th grade boys. I have the chance to serve as a leader on the creative tech team and the student leadership team. So many people have coached me here at Nativity. Talking about my past isn't an easy thing to do. Prior to this, not many people knew my history, partly because I didn't want them to think differently of me. Sometimes we have to step out of our comfort zone to show our true self and admit that we need coaches in our lives. I want you to think outside the box, to find the true meaning in your coach. Know that your coach is there for you, and so are we.
Over the past few years, I've gained a whole new understanding for what a coach is in my life. Looking back, I've had many without even realizing it. A coach is someone who is always there for you, providing you with support and advice, and helping you through whatever comes your way. Teachers are a huge part of all our lives. They assign us papers, proctor tests, and grade our work. Yeah, they do all those things, but they do so much more. Even if you don't realize it, teachers are always looking out for us, and most likely, if you reach out to them for anything, school-related or not, they'll be there for you. My junior year health teacher is a coach to me. Occasionally, I would go to her for academic questions, but more often than not, it was for life questions. She came into my life during a difficult time filled with lots of change, and we instantly had a bond. No matter what was going on in her life, she was and still is there for me. She was only my teacher for a semester, but she'll be my coach forever.
To me, a coach is a leader who's there to guide and assist you throughout your daily life. It's important to have someone like this in your life, whether that be a sports coach, a teacher, a therapist, or someone you look up to. A coach in my life is my confirmation sponsor, Carol. She has helped me throughout difficult times in my life and continues to help me grow in my faith. I know I can reach out to her no matter the situation, and she will always guide me and pray for me. Whether I'm having a rough time at school or with friends or with anything else, she knows how to cheer me up. Oftentimes, she will come to my house with some homemade cupcakes and a big hug and help me remember that God can handle all things. Knowing that our coaches are there to motivate and guide us can be essential to our success. Coaches are there to guide and encourage you in order to succeed. Like our student leader shared, we have coaches of all kinds. Some are sports coaches, some are coaches in our education, some are coaches that help us with our emotional health, and some are spiritual coaches. Philippians 4:9 says, "The things you have learned and received and heard and seen in me, practice these things, and the God of peace will be with you." We are called to practice. Just like sports, art, any other goal we have, when it comes to our faith, we need the same mindset of practice in order to grow. And God knows that takes hard work. He doesn't expect us to perfect any skill or talent or desire alone. From the day you were born, you needed coaches to learn the most simple and basic things in life, to walk and talk. Imagine trying to teach yourself how to ride a bike or how to multiply decimals. In faith, we have these things called spiritual disciplines. These are practices that help us grow in our faith. They're things we do, things like prayer, reading scripture, meditation, journaling, giving to the church, fasting, going to confession, evangelizing, and inviting others to learn and know more about God. The key is, just like practice for anything else in life, spiritual disciplines are activities. They're not attitudes. Spiritual disciplines are things you do. They're not character qualities. They're not just graces that are simply given to you. They take effort and practice and coaching. We talked about practice earlier this year in our STEP series. When you practice, you're doing something, playing an instrument, kicking a ball, doing math problems, using breathing exercises. And if you really want to get good at something, you need coaching. Coaching is the difference between being good and becoming great at something. I was a cheerleader for most of my life. I didn't just show up one day and get thrown in the air. I was coached how to hold my own weight, proper positioning, how to build muscle, and safety precautions to be able to do those things well. Just with our spiritual disciplines, they take coaching. They take active participation and effort. A lot of times we feel the mystery of God as difficult to understand. It's someone we can't physically see. We don't physically hear his voice or are able to touch him. So much of our faith is dependent upon the non-physical and solely spiritual aspects of God. But these spiritual disciplines give us that concrete, earthly ability to join our physical actions and efforts with our spiritual faith in God. There are the spiritual disciplines that we practice alone and those that we practice with other Christians. So, for example, we are to pray alone. That's a personal spiritual discipline. We're also to pray with the church. When we go to Mass or you pray together in small group, that's your team. So, in the practice of spiritual disciplines, who is coaching you? If you've ever wanted a more meaningful time at church or a deeper faith, start getting coached. To find out how to do something, ask someone who knows how to do it. If you want to play college lacrosse, ask an athlete or coach who does it. If you want to play an honors orchestra, ask the director or someone who does it. If you want to be a part of a cheerleading pyramid, ask the cheerleading coach to show you how. And if you want to pray, ask a coach who knows spiritual disciplines. This week, think about who your coaches are and how you can ask them to help you. And here's a hint. You've probably got a couple good coaches in your small group leaders, but try to think of others too. Our coaches in faith are the ones who help us pursue that deeper relationship with God with these spiritual disciplines. They are there to lead in the disciplines we are called to practice with others and encourage us in our personal pursuit of disciplines. We need coaches of all kinds. They help us grow and succeed in every area of our lives. So this week, think about the coaches in your lives. Think about what you've learned from them, how they encourage you, and what it means to you to be coached. The things you've learned and received and heard and seen in me, practice these things, and the God of peace will be with you.